You have to purchase snacks and drinks. We have an unashamed prayer, so we have to pray for a successful meeting. There's invitation. We got to invite new people and old people to come back. We have to send out reminders, print out notes and survey cards, assign roles, who's doing what. We have to do visual and audio. Somebody has to be, work the intro video, work PowerPoint, record meetings, YouTube live, all that type of stuff. We have to do volunteer positions. And then, altar call. If anybody comes in here and they need to give their life to Christ, we have a word of the month, and all this other stuff like that. And we have to take feedback. And then we also have to do some club planning too for next year. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into planning, and that all happens through a team, okay? And we're all in this together, like High School Musical. We're all in this together. Okay, y'all don't like High School Musical? Okay. So the next thing is leading you, okay? Leading you. And this is kind of like leading in the middle. Leading in the middle, okay? I'll say leading in the middle. How do you lead yourself, okay? How do you lead yourself? This leading in the middle is very important, okay? This is actually the most important one. This is basically self-leadership, okay? Are you a good leader over yourself? That's a good question. Don't just wonder, are you a good leader over people? Because that's how I was thinking. Well, am I a good leader over the people? Well, I'm doing pretty good, job as, leading the people of God. I'm doing good. And people are coming back with positive reviews and telling me great things about me. And, oh my gosh, you're making a difference and all this stuff. But God said, no. Don't worry about how you're leading the people. How are you leading yourself? Okay, that's the question. How are you leading yourself? Are you a good leader over yourself? You cannot lead anyone until you first learn how to lead yourself, okay? You cannot lead anybody until you learn how to lead yourself. If you do not obey you, then who is going to obey you? If you can't tell yourself not to eat a chocolate chip cookie, then who is going to obey you? Man, no, don't eat the cookie. Don't eat the cookie. No. Okay. No, if you don't respect you, if you can't obey you, then who's going to obey you? If you can't stop yourself from looking at a girl while she passed by, ooh, girl got it going. Oh, you can't stop yourself from doing that. Then you can't try to tell somebody, hey man, don't be looking at her while she passed by. He ain't gonna respect you because he see you looking at some other girls, okay? You have to lead by example, okay? That's how leaders lead. Leaders lead by example. Kelsey, you cannot lead anyone until you first learn how to lead yourself, okay? And then this is how Jesus led. Jesus led his people by example, okay? And in leading yourself, you must be a person of discipline, integrity, and excellence, okay? You have to be a person of discipline, integrity, and excellence. If you put this together, it's die. D-I-E, die. You got to die to yourself. You got to be disciplined. You got to have some self-control, and then you got to be you have to have integrity. That means you got to be trustworthy. And then you have to do things with excellence, okay? Now, this all deals with your character. This all deals with your character. And your character is who you really are. Your character is living your life as if a surveillance camera is always on you at all times. That's your character. It's like kind of living your life as if a surveillance camera is on you at all times. It's who you are when no one's watching. It's when your public you and your private you is all in alignment. When who you say you are and who you really are, when what you say you are and who you really are, when that all matches up, that's your character, okay? And it's about the convictions, and it is about the values and the beliefs that we do not compromise, okay? It's being tempted, just like Joseph was, but Joseph did not give in to the temptation. Just like we were doing the illustration here, Joseph did not give into it. Why? Because that was his character. He didn't do it when people were in the palace. The people were in the palace when she was making a move on him. And then she was like, all right, that didn't work. I guess he's trying to show off because people here, he's trying to let people know he's a man of God. Nah, girl, I don't do that stuff. I'm a reverend. I'm a man of God. I don't do that. And then, okay, well, nobody's around. Okay, Joseph, and the Bible says that he ran off because that was his character. He was the same person that he was in front of people when no one else was watching. And that's how we have to be. Are you really who you say you are, or are you putting on the front? Now, and I showed Andrew this PowerPoint. He said there's too much skin on this slideshow. So y'all, I'm gonna have to skip past it real quick. Okay, so are you really who you say you are, or are you just putting on a front? Who are you really? Okay. Now, leading in the middle, it all deals with leading yourself. Okay, and then this is the last one. leading down. How do you lead your followers, okay? How do you lead your followers? After you learn how to lead yourself, that's when you now qualify for this stage. This is where you qualify for this area, okay? So this deals with how you lead those that you're leading. How do you lead those you're leading, okay? How do you lead the people that you're over, okay? Now, at the beginning, we talked about how do you lead the person that's over you. Now, we're about to learn how you lead the person that you're over, okay? Top dog living, right? So this is what we're talking about now. So this is some things that you need to kind of know when you start to step into a leadership position, when you're in charge of people. You cannot allow power to get to your head, okay? You cannot allow the power to get to your head. You cannot get wrapped up into titles, and you cannot allow a position to define who you are, okay? Can't get wrapped up into the titles. You cannot try to, let the power get to your head. You cannot allow positions to define who you are. If you let the power get to your head and you allow, the positions, you get wrapped up into the positions and let that define who you are, that's when you start to walk in pride. And if you look right here on this slideshow, what is in the center of the word pride? It's the letter I. And that is what pride is. Pride has us focused on on ourselves. That's the thing. And so I is in the center of the word pride. And it's dangerous being a prideful leader, because the Bible says that pride comes before a fall. And I want you to know that if you want to predict your failure, see if you're operating in pride. If you want to predict your failure, see if you're operating in pride. Now, on Saturday, me and my dad and my brother, we were going out to go bowling. And so he, my dad, he was like, y'all want to go bowling? So we were like, yeah, sure, we'll go. And so he was like, nah, if y'all don't want to go, because y'all know I'm going to go ahead and beat y'all, He was like, y'all, feel free, y'all don't have to go. And so I was like, no, we're going to go, you ain't scaring us, old man. We letting him know, he ain't scaring us. So he, we ended up going home, getting ready, changed, cleaned up. And then, so he's like, all right, y'all come on. He's already in the car, we coming out, looking all clean, well, at least I was, I was looking fresh, so he was like, my dad, he was like, oh, y'all moving slow. He was like, oh, y'all moving slow. He was like, I'll be moving slow too if I had to bowl against me, just being all cocky and high-minded, y'all can't bowl against me and all this stuff. And so we go there and we bowl, and he ends up winning the first game, but that's not it. We ended up doing the second game. And then, guess who ended up winning the second game of bowling? Guess who won, Ariel? Guess who won? Top dog living. That's a top dog living. That's who won. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. That's the last time I'm going to let Andrew get into my family business. He all up in my business, pulling up the score. He know that I lost. But my brother, he won. That was top dog living. My brother was doing some top dog living, but I wasn't. So tough crowd today, y'all. Y'all got to laugh with me. So the greatest leadership trait is humility. Okay, that's the greatest leadership trait is humility. You cannot, you got to stay humble and know that without God, you are nothing. Okay, you are nothing without God. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up. Everybody. Stand up, everybody. Everybody stand up. Okay. Sit down. Be humble.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. You gotta be humble. Okay, so if you're humble and you always put God first, you always succeed as a leader. This is it. All I want to leave with you is the strategies for leading down. Alright, here's some ways to lead your followers, okay? If you want to lead your followers, you have to display good character and embody your expectations. So up front, we need to start displaying that good character, and we need to start letting the people know what we require, what we expect from them beforehand, all right? And then we got to start pushing our team to be their best self, all right? Push your team to be their best self, all right? Every leader wants their teammates to be better than they are, okay? Everyone wants them to be better than they are. Even Jesus told his disciples, greater works shall you do, because leaders aren't intimidated by other people. Great leaders aren't intimidated by other people, okay? And so Number three is that we have to give opportunities for people to start using their own individual gifts on the team, okay? So give everybody opportunity to do something and to use their own individual gifts. And then the fourth thing that we have to do, we have to receive input and feedback from everybody. We have to often ask the question, what do you think, okay? So start trying to get into the people's mind. And so I always call Andrew and Ariel, and I always want to know, anytime I have an idea, I just don't ever say, this is what we're doing, or this is how this is going to be done. Always ask, what do you think? Those are powerful questions to ask, is what do you think, okay? So we have to receive input and feedback, okay? And then the fifth thing that we have to do, we have to articulate our vision, okay? We have to articulate the vision, okay? And you have a vision, you got to start letting your team know about the vision, and y'all got to start working towards that thing, all right? And then number 6 is that we got to treat people kindly, okay? Treat people kindly. Everybody needs to be treated with respect. And then the 7th thing is that you got to know the type of people that you're leading. And I didn't make that up. That came from the Vice President Ariel right there last year, leadership seminar. And that's one thing that always stuck with me, is that you have to know the type of people that you are leading, okay? Know the type of people that you're leading, okay? Have to know that some people are different. You can't lead everybody the same. Just like any parent will tell you that you can't parent the child the same way. So you can't be like, this is the same way I parent Ariel, it's the same way I parent Jayla. It's all different. Every child is different. And so every person is different. So you have to use different tactics and different ways to lead people. So you may be like, okay, well, Sister Teresa, she likes to bite. She likes to bite. Sister Teresa got a biting spirit. So you got to keep on, you got to watch Sister Teresa. So everybody, they're not the same. You got to know that people are different. You got to know the type of people that you are leading. All right? This is the last question. Are you a leader or a firefighter? That's the question. That's a good question. Now, this is not a bash towards firefighters, but even though I was told to be a firefighter, Mary remembers that message. He talked about that. Tell all my business in his sermon. But are you a leader or a firefighter? And so, a firefighter, every time there's a fire, the firefighter goes and he puts out the fire, right? He puts out the fire. Every time there's a fire, the firefighter, he goes out there and he puts out the fire. He puts out the fire. But a leader has to do is he has to teach the people how to start putting out their own fires, how to put out their own fire. Because sometimes we become everybody's God. We become our own people's God. The people that we're leading, we become more of a God to them than we become a leader to them, okay? We have to be the people's leaders, not their God. We don't have to solve every problem that they have. Just lead the people, okay? And Moses, he got stressed out the moment he tried to be the people's God, trying to provide everything for them. Well, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, got to do that. No, lead them. Don't be their God. You have to stay in your lane and know this is God's part, and then this is my part. I'm finished, okay? So I'm finished for real. So right here, this is the direction of leadership. And I drew this, but you gotta lead up, you gotta lead down, you gotta lead sideways, and lead in the middle. So if we lead up, and then we lead sideways, and then we lead down, what is that? That's a 360 is a circle. We done. Give God a hand. That's a 360 leader. Yeah, hey, can you close us out, man?
If everybody can bow down their heads in reverence, Jesus. Our Father in heaven, I thank you today for this message, for this leadership sermon, and for the notes that you have given us so that we may know that later on in the future that everyone that is in here is destined, and I believe in my heart to be a leader. And I pray that every person may know that it is a process, that it takes time, that we may be with you in your presence, that we may go over these notes back at home and